Absolutely.
Yes.
And let's now shift gears. We've had lots of football. Now, let's talk rugby. And of course, there's a new sheriff in town in the name of Harriet Okatchu, who's replaced Alexander Sasha Mutai, who said enough is enough. And Okatchu is promising a lot of good things. Let's take a listen to what Harriet Okatchu had to say.
We are united as a board. We've had a working secretariat who have a more than experienced director of rugby and CEO. A lot of the work, even when you see with sponsors, it's been them handling. We get the sponsors, they're the ones who close, because they're the ones who run the day-to-day management of the game. So that is what we want to focus on, to make the game better.
And today at the SGM, I tendered my resignation because I could read the mood in the room. But I walk away from Kenya Rugby Union as chairman with my head held high. All the work that we have achieved, all the good results we have achieved, bringing back the sponsors, bringing back credibility, because there was a trust deficit. The players are in a much better place.
And of course, that's Alexander Sasha Mutai, the immediate former KRU boss, and Harriet, who's taken over the mantle from him. And Jacob, a lot of discussions on the KRU board. Sasha's gone, following in the footsteps of Mwangi Muthee, who also quit. But we saw what actually preceded his resignation. A lot of fights, a lot of litigation, until he felt, I can't take this anymore. We have a new boss, but what's the guarantee that she's going to succeed? What's the guarantee she's going to get the support of the board, a free hand to run rugby in the country?
I want to quote Francis Mutuku, the current NOC SG. He once said on this set that what will make our sports federations to take our sports to the next level is not about individuals, but the working systems within those federations, whether national or international. Now, what we see at KRU is total mess. And that's why, if you listen to the kind of reactions that we're having, now even players have come out to speak loudly. Something we have not seen before. Players are saying that there is mess at KRU. And I hosted Sasha Mutai 2 weeks ago on Radio Citizen, and he was making very serious claims. If those claims are anything to go by, concerning what is happening at the board, then it is something akin to a body that is ungovernable by anybody. So, and I was saying that maybe we will need reforms. So that, for example, even the way we get the board members, you understand? The board that is going to have a lot of power, like even to do what has happened with Mutai the other day, then we try to get a balance. Because I was looking at the situation and I was saying that here, anybody can be a culprit. Even Harriet, the current boss today, if the other board members decide to descend on her, it will just be a quick move because of the structure of the board, how it is constituted and all that. I want to say that there is no guarantees as to whether she's going to succeed. But most importantly, if the players are feeling unprotected, if the major stakeholder, including the national team players, some of them have spoken, some of the clubs. The other day there was a video of players from different clubs saying publicly that they are not comfortable with what is happening there. Then there's trouble. And what I see is that we are going to soon throw the water.
The baby, the bathwater.
Because we saw a letter that was warning, the World Rugby warned.
World Rugby, yeah.
And they say that they are keenly following the episodes of what is happening at KRU. Sooner or later, some of
do we have that letter?
That we have not
just
seen
carry on.
For a long time. We are just used to bans within football, and maybe the aquatics. Maybe one of these few days we could be sanctioned by the World Rugby.
Shitera, you've been an advocate of good governance, and picking from what Isia said, you have a board. Probably, is it time we introduce term limit? Harriet actually did talk to this, and he said, we need to decentralize power from the board. It is so powerful. We need to take this power to the stakeholders so that the game can be played there, so that we don't have a few men and women in the boardroom deciding the direction of the game.
You see, even the timing, it's not right. Remember, when the Kenya Rugby is attracting sponsorship, I think the war is not a good picture even for the sponsor himself. When now some cash is flowing, is when people are trying to fight. Now it signals that money is everything to fight for. And the federations, wakili ako hapa, probably through the Sports Act, anaweza tuambia really what needs to be done to ensure that the boardroom wars does not affect what is going on in the field, because our women rugby are doing very well, our men rugby are doing very well. So why are you fighting your own rugby in the boardrooms? I think they should have let Sasha Mutai complete his term, because we have not seen on the table what they have been accusing him of. And if the problem is the money, then we really need to know what is the problem. As a human being, as a Kenyan, I can only point it to what is happening on the table. When the table is full, instead of us eating, we'll start fighting, because Isia has grabbed the favorite part of the chicken, probably, and I wanted
before he comes in, I think
kill the shot, but make your sentence.
When Mutai came in, I've not seen anything that the pay bill has been circulating for us to help the national team that is going maybe to play the World Rugby thing. Like, everything has been smooth. We've seen sponsors coming in and supporting even the national team going outside. So, as Isia has said, we want to know what really did Sasha Mutai did to be chased. Let's just chased away, because the way he did the interview was like, nimeingia huko ndani nikaona manzeni kumota, wacha nitoke nishi. Yeah, wacha nifanye press conference yangu hapa nje nishi. So we need to know what really happened, and we need to know every details, so that we don't have to be split yes, every social media tuseme alifukuza kwa sababu ya hii na hii. We need to know what really happened.
And you also need to respect the courts, because I think there is a ruling to this. Yeah, we also need to respect the law, so that we can be counted as people who uphold the rule of law.
Let me check.
But if I think if they want to go the way of as we say the aquatics of course thing sanctioned with the World Rugby body, and maybe something can happen. Maybe they can be banned if they don't take care of these. By the way,
yes. Kelly probably have the final say on this matter, and I want you to bring in the legal perspective, because Harriet has talked of her desire to have a constitutional review, the Kariu Constitution, so that it can tame some of this fight. But you've seen a lot of competing interest. How feasible, how easy will this be?
Now, I'm surprised that there are issues of term limits, because for you to operate legally in Kenya, the Sports Act Section 46 demands that you must be registered. And if you are going to be registered, there are certain prerequisites that the second schedule of the Sports Act demands of our constitution. One of them is that there must be term limits. These term limits must be of 4 years. I'm surprised that there are certain persons within the rugby board who have served beyond the two-term limits of 4 years. That is something which needs to be looked into. I do not know how it escaped the scrutiny of the sports registrar, who is normally hawk-eyed whenever she's carrying out the elections. Number two, this is not the first time Sasha Mutai is put on the spot. Not because he's a bad man. I do not think so. The first time they did it, and the court held that it was ultra-vires to the Fair Administrative Action Act, the Constitution of Kenya, and the Constitution of Rugby, the Rugby Federation. What happened, he was suspended not through the right procedure, and he was given a reprieve. So the second time, a correct notice was put up, but out of malicious reasons. I tend to believe. I've seen accusations from Mutai saying he has had to step down because of governance issues. And his accusers, who are after his neck, are equally pointing out governance issues. We do not know who is saying the truth, but we've seen serious conflict of interest issues. There's a case of Mutai's accuser having registered a firm, which he's defending the union in a case which his firm is accusing the union.
Actually, left, right, and center, yes. I've had a chance to look at those papers.
That is very serious conflict of issue.
I think when they're reviewing the Constitution, those are some of the things that need to be explicitly clear.
Yes. Now, when the World Rugby wrote to KRU, it also copied the cabinet minister. And it gave the minister the opportunity to take to also help the union resolve the dispute. And this is in appreciation of the sovereignty of the state. Something sometimes FIFA does not necessarily have recognizance of. And the minister is allowed by law, I think section 54, 55, section 54 of the Sports Act. From section 52, the registrar may cause an inspection of a sports organization, check on the records of accounts, the book of accounts. If there are governance issues, the registrar may advise the cabinet minister. And then the minister, out of section 54, he can cause for formation of a committee, what Amina did, what we call the caretaker committee. So the minister, if he feels upon satisfaction of the inspection report, he can cause for formation of a caretaker committee so that it can now lead to a revamping of the constitution, come up with policies that will curb conflict of interest, put in some prerequisites of persons who are going to gun for leadership, and sweep out persons who have overstayed. I think that is part of what is the problem. But money may be a key motivation behind all this, and probably personality issues. Everyone says he's doing it for the good of the game. We leave it for the public to...
Absolutely. We leave it to the public, and those are some of the stories we'll keep tabs on, the state of governance at Kenya Rugby Union, and much more. Zita?